Hi everyone, welcome back to the series Unbrilliant Games. In today's video, we'll be looking at a game between Small Potato and Bob. Bob isn't actually his name, but whatever, let's just call him Bob. Anyways, so Small Potato opens with d4, Queen's Pawn opening, and Bob responds with e5. This is known as the England Gambit. This is quite tricky if you don't know what you're doing with white, but if you know how to counter it, you'll just have a clear advantage. Anyways, but here Small Potato doesn't play a great move. He plays knight f3. This is very questionable. The way to refute the England is just to take the free pawn in the middle. But because you play knight f3, this immediately allows black to take the advantage with e4, booting the knight, and wherever the knight goes, you'll follow with d5 and quick development. You basically surrendered control of the center to black. It's basically in the same position, but black is playing white because they have such a huge advantage. Anyways, knight f3, and here e4, great move by Bob, attacking the knight. Knight to e5, and here d5 is good, and he plays it, solid center, and now e3, blocking up the center, and now black is just clearly better because he has a space advantage, he has quicker and easier development, and this knight could get stuck later on. We have moves like f6. So now bishop to d6, targeting the knight. And now c4. I really like this move. c4 is a great move, attacking the middle, trying to fight back. c4 is an amazing move. Now queen f6. I do not understand this move. This is an atrocious move. Instead of developing your pieces like a normal person, or even taking the central knight, you play queen f6. Maybe the point of this move is to attack f7, but I'm not very sure. Now f4. I don't really know what this does. The computer says it's actually a good move. But if I were playing black, maybe why not just takes? Why is this bad? I'm not sure. But anyways, f4. Here, if you belong to r/anarchy chess, you will always play en passant. Anyways, after f4, he plays the move knight to e7. Knight to e7, I don't hate this move. You're preparing to castle. But now white is better because you've allowed the white to fight back in the center. This knight is super strong. And white will play knight c3, bishop d7, bishop e2, and castle. And white is comfortably better. Now, c takes d5. And now for some unknown reason, black just doesn't take back the extra pawn, allowing white to defend it with knight c3. But bishop f4 also defends the pawn. Problem with bishop f4 is now the bishop is in a bit of an awkward square. But I understand the move. I don't hate it. You want to castle. Knight to d7, offering a trade of central knights. And now castles. So you can't take this knight right now, because then d takes, and now you get forked. So takes,
look at this
and all
dude.
of a sudden your pieces get forked. This is terrible. So castles, this is great play. This is okay play from both sides. This is okay. And now bishop h3. If you give me 10 guesses to explain this move, I would not be able to. I have no idea what this move does. First of all, maybe the idea is to sacrifice the bishop to attack the king. But if you take, there's not even a single check you can give along the g file. I think maybe queen h4 here is logical. But bishop h3, what is this? Why? You could be a normal person and castle here and continue playing on. Instead, you sacrifice your bishop for no reason. There's not even an attack. Anyways, Small Potato takes back the bishop. And now, knight to f5. You'd think after sacrificing an entire piece to attack the king, you would follow up with queen h4, attacking the pawns, queen f5. Maybe I seriously don't know. Knight f5, activating a piece, bringing it towards the king. This is okay. Now queen to h5. This is a bit suspicious. g6 can now kick out the queen, but I understand what this move does. It's trying to cover the king from any potential checks, because the queen now covers a lot of squares. And now black takes the knight and blunders f takes e4, forking 2 pieces at the same time. Okay, so it's move 12 and black is completely lost. But this game is far from over.
We call this foreshadowing.
Queen g6 check. This is a terrible move. When you're losing, you never want to trade queens. I don't care if the computer says it's the best move or something, but just trading queens when you're losing is terrible. Take the bishop. And now small potato is just up 2 pieces. Knight c3, attacking the e-pawn, developing. And you might be wondering, how is this game still going on? Isn't white just completely winning? Well, you better watch the end.
In the business, we call this
Rook takes h3, winning a pawn. Now, how I would play as white here, black here is the long castle, play rook to h8 and attack down to h-file. And now white, you know how when you get a completely winning position and you start to malfunction? Well, this is what happens to small potato here. He plays rook e1. Now, I understand what this move does. Small potato was like, oh no, I'm going to lose the e3 pawn because both of them attack it. So he plays rook e1 to defend it. But the problem with this move is this is way too slow and it's way too passive. You have that much material, it's okay to give up a single pawn. Better move here would to just be take this pawn. And if he takes this pawn, you just trade everything, win another pawn, and be completely winning. But anyways, rook e1 and long castles. Yep, black starts implementing the plan to go down the h-file of the rooks. Now I really want white to take this pawn and just not eat everything. And he does. Knight takes c4 and a rook to h8. Oh boy, here comes the counterplay. If I were white, I would play rook e2, stopping all counterplay because I defend the h2 pawn. But unfortunately, he plays bishop to f1. Now, I hate this move. This is an absolutely atrocious move. When it attacks the rook, getting the dopamine rush to like, ooh, 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 ooh. Me attack rook, ooh, ooh, ooga booga. But doesn't realize the rook can just take the pawn. And suddenly, here comes the black's counterattack. And people at this level are very good at attacking, but terrible defenders. So now bishop g2 is an excellent move, defends the check on h1, and there's no more attack now. But unfortunately, small potato was like, instead of doing any of that stuff, I'm gonna sacrifice an entire piece for no reason and allow all of the counterattacks. I don't know, man. So knight takes d6. Wait, what? King d7! The knight can take the other knight. Knights move like in L shapes. Why did you move the king? Okay, now white is completely winning because you just take the knight or take the pawn and be up like a ton of material. He does that, takes the pawn, and now rook 8 h4. What? If I were black, I would give a check. And after king g2 or something, I would give another check. And look, this is extremely scary for white. But instead, he plays rook 8 h4. I don't know what this does. Stares into a defended pawn. But maybe it's just trying to get the rook out of the way. Bishop to b5 check. Small potato finally comes to his senses and starts attacking the king. King e7. And now, computer wants you to come back and abandon the knight because you need to defend your king. But instead of that, small potato loses the knight and surrenders and decides to allow a decisive attack. Now the position, as you can see, is drawn after knight to g3 check and a repetition of moves. Knight g3 check found. Let's go. King g1. Now the drawing move is an absolutely ridiculous rook to c2. This check doesn't work because it allows the king to escape, so you need this rook to remain boxed in. You play rook to c2 in order to defend checkmate, so white has to defend accurately. Here, the best move is bishop to e2, sacrificing the bishop and the knight, just so that this bishop can cut off the rook. So maybe rook h1 check here, king f2, knight e4 check, king f3, and there's got to be a draw here. I mean, black has a massive attack. So back to the main line, check, king f1, which is a no, he was playing pretty well now, small potato, and he just goes, rook king f1, only move that off blunders a draw. Knight g3 check, king g1, and now rook h1 check. This blunders because I mean it's very hard to find rook c2 here to go rook h1 checkmate, but I don't blame him. King f2, knight e4 check, and now king to e2. Rook, if I were here, bring the other rook in and check, because now the king is forced away and you win a rook. But anyways, this rook checks, and now king goes back to d8, and the king is surprisingly safe here. King takes f7, winning the knight, and now d6, losing a pawn. I mean, amazing, just loses a pawn. He takes, and now b3, an absolutely brilliant move. Losing a piece, and now black is slightly better because of how active he is. Piece gets taken. Bishop a3, another brilliancy. Losing another piece. Like, what are the chances? You blunder a bishop, and the very next move you blunder another bishop. Like, if you gave a grandmaster this position, he wouldn't be able to blunder two bishops in two moves. But instead, knight c3 check. You saw the knight could move, right? You found knight c3, but not knight takes a3. It's 2 squares away. 2, 1, 2. How did you find knight c3, but not knight a3? Oh, I'm gonna faint. Oh my god. King c1, and now knight to e2 check, continuing the path of me c check, me give check. King d2, running directly into discovered attack. If you get checked like this, never run into the rook's path line of sight, because now the knight can move and give check as well. If I were white, I would play like, I don't know, king d1. Now there's no checks. Well, there is one check, but at least there's no perpetual. I mean, no discovered. King d2, knight takes f4 check, king back to d1, knight d3, attacking the rook. Rook goes slides f1 check, king back to g8, and now this gives white a little bit of hope because there's counterplay down here. But instead, small potato decides to go back to his plan of pushing random pawns and immediately loses another one. And now b4, like in the middle of a position where you need to be fighting back, you play pawn move, loses pawn, pawn move, loses pawn. Just absolutely no brain. You trade, and now black is completely winning in this endgame. The king is cut off, the rooks have no support, the rooks don't support each other, and most of all, black is up 3 entire pawns. Rook to c1, activating the rook, good move. Now, for unknown reasons, black did not take the a2 pawn. I mean, the past 2 moves, you took a free pawn, you took free pawn. Why not take another free pawn? Anyways, rook back to h4, connecting the rooks down the file to stare at nothing. And now, if I were white, I would play rook c7, rook f7, and try to attack. Rook c8 check, king h7, and now I'd play rook fc1 here, because now there's attacks. That's literally checkmate in 1. But instead, rook g8, attacking the pawn. But you see, now your pawn is hanging as well. b6, defending the pawn. And now rook back to f1. In endgames, you never stack the rooks. In an open board, you never stack the rooks like this. Rooks are more powerful working horizontally, not vertically. So like rook f8 here. Super strong move. If he isn't careful here and he plays like a move like this, haha, checkmate. You checkmate him first. So rook f8, g5, excellent move, giving the king some breathing room. And now black is completely winning, right? Black is in the driver's seat. Everything's gonna be fine. Rook takes f2, rook takes f2. Also, if you're losing, never offer trades. Think of it like this. If you have $2 million and your opponent has $1 million, if you trade the $1 million for the $1 million, you still have $1 million, but he doesn't.
Huh?
So as long as you have money, you still have $1 million, you're fine. If you have $2 million and your opponent has $1 million, if you trade $1 million for the $1 million, you still have $1 million, but he doesn't. So as long as you have money, you still have $1 million, you're fine.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
g4, pushing the pawn. Rook goes back to 7th rank. g3, continuing pushing the pawn. And now, small potato goes Giga Brain. He brings his king slowly. He brings his king, defends against the pawn, brings one at king g2. And now, small potato realizes that the king is a bit suspicious here. So he decides to go for a last resort. I don't know what to say after this game. I don't know. Okay, well, that was an insane game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next video.